This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 41, the New Year's Day After Tomorrow. Uncut. For her pleasure.
Superman.
You're such a peanut.
Oh, that's crowded in here. Oh, there's a
We'll get to the bar.
Watch it, Damien, watch him. This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 41, the New Year's Day After Tomorrow. Oh, now the sound effects work. Jeez. So I am Paul Hawkins, and as ever, I am joined by...
Brett Summers.
who has some sound effects tonight.
And Damien Hicks with no sound effects.
And Brett might not have sound effects for much longer.
No,
Jesus.
he keeps that up.
Okay, so in tonight's show, we are obviously celebrating New Year's Eve with some much merriment and some stupid special effects and sound effects, which may get broken. And
Or edited out.
Yeah, the power of the editor. And in this tonight's special, we are looking
Actually, I
at...
prefer to think of myself as a producer. Just saying.
Okay.
Pretty busy here, but we're doing alright.
That's really the quietest crowd I've ever heard. I mean, if they're a crowd, if it's supposed to be legit. Seriously, what? Are you gone to a gay bar now? What's going on?
Let's draw a line under that now, I think.
An advert popped up.
Okay, so...
bloody online media player websites that we can't all name because others are available.
So obviously we are releasing this episode on New Year's Eve. That murky period between Christmas and start of new work year, where no one's really sure what day it is. There's probably not much on telly tonight. Let's face it. Everywhere's cancelled. Everywhere's probably back in lockdown after being allowed out for Christmas.
Because everyone's gonna kick it lockdown.
Because everyone's socialised and caught COVID. So yeah, here's to 2022 when more of the same. I'm guessing.
Freedom.
No. There's going to be no freedom. There's going to be the continual cycle of COVID.
Maybe if we write to the Hoff and get him to come over and sing a song
Well,
on
can
top
sing on Nelson's column.
Yeah, somewhere. And it doesn't matter where it is.
As long
Get
as
his
he's got a
jacket
piano
out.
cheer luminous flashy scarf on.
Exactly. That might turn the tide.
Maybe.
We did it for Berlin.
It took their breath away.
Nice. See
No,
what you did there.
I meant the city.
So did I.
Anyway, moving on swiftly. So we are spending the remaining part of this podcast not just dissing each other or slagging off sound effects, but that may happen.
I like the sound of that.
But we are looking.
That's what we've done all year.
We're looking ahead. We're putting the misery and the drudgery behind us of what was a kind of nothing year 2021.
Nah, not much happened. We only launched an ass-kicking podcast.
Touche.
We did. It did go downhill last week when we talked about Last of the Summer Wine, but
You talked about
I didn't talk. Don't fucking hold me responsible for it.
He's just getting old. He's got no
I saw
memory
you
now.
pushing a bathtub up that hill during the week.
Although that is true. If COVID hadn't have come along, this podcast
Combat be alive. What?
wouldn't have happened. Where did you
This
think?
is true because we've been talking about it for the best part of 5 years and never got round to doing
Yeah.
it. So yeah, you might have a point
God,
there.
can you imagine if the COVID pandemic carries on, we might actually get a band and make that film that we always talks about.
The commitment.
Still got the script somewhere.
Cool. Maybe that'll be next year. Anyway, so
I think Debbie's been to Dallas by now.
can you imagine a remake of that with the original actress? Oh no.
No, Paul, what are you doing?
I don't know. He's gone porn on us. I suppose it is a cult film in its own way.
So, we are looking ahead at what is coming out in 2022. What are we excited about? What are we really not excited about? What is Damien absolutely avoiding or not wanting to hear, and maybe going to close his ears to and hum in a corner of this? I was going to say studio, the bar.
Yeah, when you start
really
talking about
wondering.
the MCU, I'm going to go over there and hit the dance floor.
What with?
Thor's hammer.
Ooh.
You've made a reference and a part of me's proud. I'm proud of you.
What's it? No,
Obviously, you won't be able to pick it up because you're not worthy.
Because I'm not worthy.
So we haven't really, got a
Nerds.
complete format of how we're going to do this. We're just keeping it light. We're keeping it conversational.
It's New Year's Eve. It's crazy. Crazy shit happens New Year's Eve. This is what it's all about, man.
So,
Big American party!
Yeah.
Someone
Good driving car, bad driving car.
someone just let an American homeless guy in off the street. Can
I've
we
had a
get-
Diet Coke and I'm wired. AF, as the kids say.
So we are talking about film and TV coming installments that are going to be released in 2022. As I said, maybe a mixed bag, maybe some mixture of big blockbuster films, some comedy films, some cartoons even that I've spotted. That to be fair, being in the dad of three, it would be nice just to have some fresh meat, as it were, on the entertainment scene.
It sounded a bit weird.
Yeah, that didn't sound quite right.
I don't think
We
that
all
came out
know
as you
we
meant
all
it.
know what you meant there, Paul, but that didn't quite sound right. But let's move on swiftly.
Okay, yeah, now I thought about that. But don't worry, I'm sure that will come out of the edit.
Yeah,
He's
we'll
had a
see.
gin. He's had a gin. It's New Year's Eve. Let's get this party started. This is Pink. Let's rock. Oh no, wrong,
I did kind
wrong
of
show.
expect you to have another sound effect then. Okay, so
No, you'll shout at me.
go on then, Summers. You come first, so you go first.
You got 3 kids. New Year's Eve, crazy party time. Right.
Let's
so,
get it started.
do we want to start with a film or a TV show?
Spin the wheel.
Ah, yes, that's what we should have done.
Damien, shall I go for a film or a TV show?
Go for a TV.
TV.
TV
Okay.
says.
One of the ones I'm not sure what I'll think about it until I see it, but it's coming late next year. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that was going to be probably first of the ones I wanted to mention.
It's
TV
going to
wise.
start Benjamin Walker, Peter Mullin, Cynthia Ada Robinson, and Maxim Baldry, to name but a few. And this epic drama is set thousands of years before the events of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and follows an ensemble cast of characters, both familiar and new, as they confront the long-feared re-emergence of evil to Middle-earth. Could be good, could be a sucker.
Arse gravy.
What do we think?
I don't think they would release it. Maybe I'm just being hopefully optimistic, but I genuinely think that similar to Peter Jackson, say what you will about the Hobbit trilogy, but he invested a lot of love into the first Lord of the Rings trilogy, and he genuinely did it from a good place. And I'm hoping
New Zealand.
when it comes to the TV show, it's going to be in the same ilk, that everyone's going to want it to be a success and want it to be a quality product.
And it stars Lenny Henry.
What?
Lenny Henry's in the cast list. I've just seen
Is
it.
he really?
Yeah. See, well, that says it all. If he's not Dalbert Wilkins, it's going to be terrible.
I do love that though on IMDb, the Lenny Henry is him basically dressed up like Prince.
But will there be
That's
purple
throwing
rain
me.
over Mordor? That's the question. Again, do we want another Lord of the Rings TV series, film,
Well,
kind of thing?
let's have this conversation. By all means, let's have this conversation. I'm happy to.
Are
But
you
bear in mind,
really?
we have had this conversation quite a few times. So, just saying.
Just summarising up.
Christmas might be over, but the Grinch isn't away.
Even on
Never
New Year's
leaves.
Eve, he's still moaning.
I'm just saying, we want to keep repeating ourselves.
There's a place for it.
Every podcast is someone's first
Oh,
podcast.
don't give us that nonsense again.
I think you started that.
Did I?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you totally did. See, Damien laughs. You heard it here.
well, my personal view is no, we don't. Purely for the fact that I got bored 3 seasons into Game of Thrones, so I'm hardly going to be excited by
Yeah, but I
a
don't
prequel.
think. But I don't think it's going to be Game of Thrones, though. Is it? It's Lord of the
Well-
Rings. It's not going to be the sex, drugs, and rock and roll of Game of Thrones.
Well, I think I only ever saw the first game, Lord of the Rings as well, to be fair. My arse went numb.
Yeah, they just walk a lot more and eventually
Yeah.
chuck a ring off a cliff. Sean Bean dies.
I think it was the first. Yeah, it's the first one I went to the
Spoilers.
cinema to see. It.
Same Game of Thrones.
Yeah, pretty much. It's the same thing. I mean, saying Game of Thrones, though, also against Lord of the Rings, you've also got House of the Dragon, which is set 200 years before Game of Thrones, with Paddy Considine, Olivia Cook, Emma Darcy, and Matt Smith. These are going to be probably almost going head to head in the fantasy realms of TV in
Hang on, so
2022.
what is Lord of the Rings on? What's it going to be? The Lord of the Rings prequel. What's it going to be?
I want to say Amazon.
If that's what you want to say, you can. Then you're welcome
Pretty
to say
sure
it.
it's
but
Amazon. Does that sound right?
I don't know.
I cannot remember right now. And House of the Dragon will be HBO and Sky Atlantic, as it's known in the UK.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing. I'm glad Wheel of Time got in this year, because it would have not shone between House of the Dragon and Lord of the Rings. And I think they did the right thing, managing to get that ahead of the game.
So, does that mean that Wheel of Time isn't at that same level? If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
Amazon Studios, sorry. Just double
I think
checking.
budget-wise, it's pretty much down where House of the Dragon and Lord of the Rings are going to be. It's it's a lower budget than those.
And
It's
so,
done well. It's done well for it. But yeah, it would struggle amongst the crowd of 2022.
Fair dues.
But now it's got that footing, so people may say, "Yeah, I like that first series. I'll go back for another."
Then didn't that? I mean, that took quite a while to make, so it may not even be another season next year. It might be the year after anyway.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
well, I think are they just going to ram them all through? Or you on about because Lord of the Rings is set, Amazon Studios, and is set for 5 seasons.
Bloody hell.
5 seasons of Lenny.
You don't have to watch them in one go like the film, though, Damien. You can. You can
In
take
all
your
honesty,
time.
I don't
Ironically,
think
it's
I'm
gonna
even
end up-
bother.
It's going to end up longer than the films.
Yeah.
No, so I'm looking forward to Lord of the Rings probably more than I am House of Dragon. It will take us back into some of the old folklore with the likes of Sauron, before he was Sauron and before he was like the figure that we know him of.
So, am I right to assume? I mean, none of this is coming from his writing, is it?
No, so it's based on some of his tales. Yeah,
Okay, so he did.
yeah. So he's done loads of books.
Yeah, I know he's done loads of books, but they
And
were
some of them-
in that same
Yes.
universe.
Apparently-
that
Yeah,
same.
there's stuff before it.
'Cause
And
I've only
after it
ever read,
around
I've only
it.
ever read Lord of the Rings. I didn't even read The Hobbit in the end.
No, but he's done like loads of them, like Silmarillion.
Silmarillion.
It's a
Similar,
Y
Yeah.
expert, isn't it?
And also the A to Z of Middle Earth. That was a good one.
Yeah, I bet it was.
It's pretty
So yeah, it's
pretty
based.
straightforward.
It's based on tales
Does it
and
begin with A?
previous stories.
And House of the Dragon is a similar thing. George R. R. Martin's written loads of stories all around it, and some of the stuff that's going to be in it or in some of the books that are in Game of Thrones. Obviously, he kept it linear in Game of Thrones, so
Yeah.
we'll get bits and pieces. But again, I think
But as we spoke
He's
about with
played his
House
card.
of the Dragon, the cast is good as
Yeah.
well. Olivia Cook,
I mean,
Matt Smith. I'm really looking forward to
there's
seeing.
no Lenny Henry, but we'll give it a go.
Not yet, but maybe he's in season 2. You never know.
It could be. But I mean, I like everyone in it. I'm just sort of burned out on Targaryens, really. And let's be honest, there was only one reason everyone liked the Targaryens in the first place, and she's in other films now.
I thought you meant the dragons. I thought that was a really good pun. You're burnt out on
Yeah.
Targaryen.
I see what you did there, yeah.
Shame it wasn't.
Yeah.
God.
So every pun I've done has not been on purpose. I think my brain just makes them on autopilot. But
You set him up summers.
yeah, Emilia Clarke is, that was why everyone liked the Targaryens to start, especially the first couple of scenes of Game of Thrones. that was how the popularity for the characters arose. It wasn't
Yeah.
because of the great writing and twists and tales of the thing. It was, she had boobs out and stuff. That was, people were like, "Who's this girl? She's hot." And then and suddenly cultfaction.com wrote loads of articles about her because everyone was Google. She was like the most downloaded or Googled celebrity of about 2 years or 3 years running. So
The Phoebe Cates of
Phoebe
the
Cates.
Miss.
That's a nice updated reference.
I used to love Phoebe Cates.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's move on.
I watched her
Please
at
do.
Christmas in Gremlins.
So let's move on from Middle Earth.
Okay, well, that's 2 TV shows coming out in 2022 anyway. House of the Dragon, which is the 200 years for Game of Thrones, and The Lord of the Rings, which is thousands of years before The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Cool, Damien, do you want to go next?
I'll go next.
Cool.
I have found something called Life After Life. Just as my laptop decides to go blank on me, bear with me.
How fortuitous.
Yeah.
Life After Life.
Life
Life
After
After
Life.
Life.
And is this a film or a
This
television
is a TV
series?
show. I haven't really done many. I found a list of 120 films that are coming out this year, and I found one that I was looking forward to, and I'll leave that till later. And you'll know when I say it why I'm looking forward to it. So, TV show called Life After Life. It stars Thomasin McKenzie, who's in Jojo Rabbit, who plays Ursula Todd, who is born to Sylvie and Hugh
Dennis.
Don't give their surnames actually, just born to Sylvie and Hugh. Played by Sean Clifford
Would it be
and
Todd?
Hugh, who played by James McArdle. I know James McArdle, I don't know. I never watched Fleabag. Apparently she's in Fleabag, but I never watched that. Apparently I'm missing out by not watching Fleabag. Have any of you seen Fleabag?
I've watched bits of it.
I watched bits of it. Yeah, not all of it. No.
It's
No.
it's no This Life.
Yeah. So I don't feel like I'm really missing out. Apparently I am, but I don't care. Anyway, Life After Life. So, Tamsin McKenzie plays Ursula Todd, who was born one night in 1910, but she dies before she even draws a breath. On that same night in 1910, Ursula is reborn and survives time and time again, living and dying in different circumstances, reborn to a new alternative iteration of life once more. This compelling story follows Ursula as she navigates each new life through a critical era which spans 2 world wars, an encounter with Hitler, and major life events.
And 1 World Cup.
Yeah. So it's on BBC, so I'm not going to imagine that it's going to be overly complicated or weird, but it sounds like an interesting premise. No trailers for it. I searched everywhere for a trailer and couldn't find one.
I just want 1 episode where she bumps into Nicholas Lyndhurst.
But there we go. That's that.
That sounds interesting.
I only
I've not
that
heard
is
of
all
that.
I have on it. Yeah. See, I do deep research. I don't just go to standard Game of Thrones nonsense.
Okay.
That's good.
Well done, Damien. Okay, so I'm going to take that.
Thank you.
That was Life After Life.
Life After Life. It's
Okay.
coming. It's BBC. It obviously means it'll be on the iPlayer as well. It just says release date is 2022. Doesn't say when in 2022. Guess it all depends on schedules and when we go into lockdown and all that nonsense.
Okay.
Okay, go Paul.
So something I'm probably looking forward to more than the Game of Thrones prequel. Maybe not Lord of the Rings, I don't know. Coming to Netflix in 2022, The Sandman.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So, upon escaping after decades of imprisonment by a mortal wizard, Dream, the personification of dreams, sets about to reclaim his lost equipment. Not much in that one line, but anyone that knows the Sandman franchise.
The audio dramas, by the way, are amazing as well. You
Yeah.
should get those if you haven't already.
But the thing that also does it for me is not just how good the potential is here, but the cast is already really brilliant. I mean, I know it's got a lot of shtick from some of the public when there's been announcements, but Dave Thewlis, Jenna Coleman, our old friend Patton Oswalt, Stephen Fry, Loads and loads of others as well.
Sorry, why did you look over me like that for?
I just had a squeaky noise.
I'm Stephen Fry.
Looked at me and went, Stephen Fry.
No,
What have I done?
I had a squeaky noise. I couldn't work out where it was coming from.
That's my stool
Go and see the doctor.
that I'm sitting on. As in, it's the bar stool.
Yes.
New Year's Eve.
So, the amount of cast that there's got in this that are of such a high quality, a lot of them great English actors as well. I don't think they would honestly put their name to something, particularly the likes of the, woman of the moment, Jenna Coleman, who, she's just got a Christmas ad. She's that famous now.
Don't get me started on
I'm
that.
joking. Whoa.
Oh,
There it comes.
that advert really annoys
The
me.
Grinch again.
Wow, you see all the gifts she gets for everyone else, like opens the bag up and there's a whacking great big push chair that would have cost like 400 quid, hands a little tiny package over to presumably her nan, which basically looks like it's filled with vinegar. There you go, nan.
And bought the
I've
perfume.
spent like 3 quid on you. Oh. You
That's
can
the
take your bottle of 3 quid
That's
and
the
like,
smell
what
of
it
love
smells
at
like.
Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, off.
Yeah, but...
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. But great cast. Nina Wadia, Sanjeev Bhaskar. I
Didn't
genuinely...
she do Loose Women? Nope, that's Nadia Sawalha. Sorry, carry on.
It's fine.
They were both in EastEnders, though.
True. But I don't think they would put their name to it unless they were going to do a good job. And, Netflix have a weird habit of producing some really good stuff. And I really want this to be... And maybe I'm just being too optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, I want it to be good, but I thought the same with American Gods, and kind of a lot of it was good, but it lost something of the novel.
I don't think I got through the first episode of American Gods.
I got through the first
3.
Or maybe the first
First
one.
season.
Maybe the first one.
I think I got through the first 3 and then just didn't go back.
Yeah, it didn't capture the, because I love this. It's actually
Yeah.
if you ask me for a top 10 of books, American Gods would be in that list, but it just lost something, and I don't know if that's just that age old thing where you can't translate everything from a book into a film or TV show because it's all in your head and it's interpretation and etc. But there was just something missing, and I didn't warm to it, and I'm hoping that it's not going to be the same for Sandman, because everything about Sandman currently that we haven't seen is awesome.
I want a Death spin-off as well from Sandman, so that needs to be a success for us.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
that's my favourite character in that series of books, not in real life. I'm not like some like Satanist or something.
You're wearing
the
black.
Grim
But yeah,
Reaper tattooed to your arm.
American Gods, though, it's a rare thing for me to watch a TV show where a ladies with JJ eats a man and I'm bored.
Yeah, exactly. There was just something off about it, and it's one of those things I personally can't put my finger on why it was off, but it was just off.
It just didn't work.
No, and again, it's not to do with the performances, because I mean, Ian McShane was
It's really
bloody
good.
good.
Yeah.
It's Ian McShane, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Just I can't. Yeah, again, maybe it's just because it's one of those books that I've read time and time again. It's not a book I've read and put down and forgotten about 20 years later. It's one of those books you
Again, I think there's a
always
cool
come back to.
audible audio performance version of that as well, different people somewhere. I'm sure I've got it somewhere.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
So if anyone wants to check
Well,
that
let's
out
not
as
look
well.
back.
No, we're looking forward.
Let's
Good
look
point.
forward.
Yeah, let's not talk
2022,
about
it's New
American
Year's
Gods.
Eve, man.
As you went there with this special effect. Okay, so Summers.
Right. What do you want? Do you want me film or TV? I feel
Film,
like a bit
film,
bullshit.
film,
Oh, film. Okay, let me get to my film list.
It's going to be a long night. He's got a list.
Right, well, I'll start with, because it's coming out in January. That makes it easier to pin down. Scream's coming back.
Yeah. So we talked about. Sorry, shut up.
Yeah, we have talked about it before. But it's the whole gimmick of the film is it's 25 years later. It's a copycat, but it's somehow linked to the original. And I don't know. I've got faith that they can do this right, but
Do you know
I'm still
what?
worried.
So there's been a lot of speak on Twitter. That's not the right word. I don't know what you call it, but
Tweets,
yeah,
noise.
Noise. That's a better. Yeah, there you go, Paul. But a lot of noise on Twitter over the last couple of days about people that are involved in the film saying, don't spoil it, don't give away the twist. So that makes me think that obviously there's a twist, but it's going to be more than just the standard.
Yeah. See, now when you say that, I'm like, so it's Sydney.
Well, yeah, that was my first. Exactly. I read the exact same thing when I read
But
it.
But they wouldn't do that because everyone's expecting that.
Yeah, but they're clever than that as well.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. They've got to be more
Wes
clever than
Craven
that.
was.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I want to watch it. I like the other ones. I never got the TV series didn't count to me. It wasn't canon.
No, it's not in there. No,
you know,
right.
but the films. All right, even that one where they went back, and it was that like the fan. I can't remember. Was it a girl as a fan or as a cousin or something? Whatever it was in the last one they done. Was it Scream 4?
It was 4.
It was Alison Brie from
yeah.
Community. Spoilers.
Yeah, none of them are bad. None of the films are bad.
They're all written
obviously,
well.
none of them. There's a diminishing returns as it goes through. But yeah.
But the first one, as we talked about, horror comedy stuff. That was what it was. It's tongue in cheek. It's played straight, but it's good. So I hope if they can recapture that, they'll have me on board as early as January the 14th, 2022.
Cool. Is that theatres only, or do we know?
Well, it just says release date.
No.
So I mean,
Who
will
knows?
theatres
Who
be
knows
open?
what we're going to be like in a couple of weeks?
I like it better when they're not open because then I can just watch it on the telly and actually get to see it. Because when it's a theatre, there's a lot of planning.
Yeah, a lot of logistics involved in that.
Where are you going to get your wine gums from? How are you going to smuggle them in? There's a lot to think
Wear your
about.
big coat.
Oh yes, with a hood and a mask. Right, Mr. Hawkins.
Oh, over to me. Okay. So I need to say this because we need to speak about this guy at least once an episode. Cage Watch. I felt like that required some horns or something there, but it's too late now, so don't worry about it. So the unbearable weight of massive talent.
Ah, yeah, that's the only film I've got on my list.
Oh shit! Sorry.
It's all right.
So a cash-strapped Nicolas Cage agrees to make a paid appearance at a billionaire superfan's birthday party, but is really an informant for the CIA since the billionaire fan is a drug kingpin and gets cast in a Tarantino movie. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I'm so excited about this, and Damien's squeaky chair means that he's obviously excited about this. So Nicolas Cage, Neil Patrick Harris, Tiffany Haddish rather. It's just got all the ingredients of Nick Cage being Nick Cage, and then being Nick Cage.
Yeah,
this could be one of the most probably underrated to-be films that will take 2022 by storm.
Yeah. I'm hoping for a Terry Wogan-esque performance.
It's going to be Cage on full force, isn't it? I'm hoping. This has all the ingredients.
But by the way, for listeners, if you don't know what I mean by that, just search Nicolas Cage on Terry Wogan. I don't want.
There's an article on that on cultfaction.com.
Oh, is there? Sorry,
Moments
my
of
bad.
Cult.
So go to cultfaction.com, Moments of Cult, and just look for Terry Wogan and Nicolas Cage. So I don't mean I want Nicolas Cage to be playing Terry Wogan. That's not what I meant.
I'd pay to see that as well.
But yeah.
Can you imagine that? That would be brilliant. Yeah, so the unbearable weight of massive talent. If done well, this could be one of the best films next year. If done
It could
well.
be one of the best films ever.
Yeah. Have you got anything else? That was your one film, but do you have
That was my one film, yeah. And you've said everything. It was just Nick Cage being Nick Cage.
And then some.
And then some. I mean,
yeah. Okay, so Summers, let's go back to you for now, and then Damien can chip in and tell you you're an arsehole. Or why you're wrong, or whatever.
Okay, it's New Year's Eve.
Oh, okay, it's just,
It's a bit early to start calling
Skip
people
me.
assholes. That's not
No, I
when
was
we
just
get to
wondering
the
whether you're
taxi
going to
rank.
mention something from MCU or
Taxi rank.
something.
Are there taxi ranks anymore? Or they just do it on the phone? I don't know.
Uber.
Do you still get a taxi rank? Let us know. Email in. Right. New film coming out. It drops. See what I did there, kids?
well done.
It drops. Well, it's June in America, but I think it might be a bit earlier in the UK. I can't find a UK date now, but it is called The Black Phone.
The Black Phone.
You sound intrigued, I know. The Black Phone.
Yeah.
So are you just looking at my phone and just making up film titles?
Yeah, but your phone's one of those ones you open up and it's just full of candy. It's not a real phone, Paul.
I actually didn't know what you meant then until going back into like the 80s.
Right, The Black Phone. It's set in the 1970s and 5 children go missing in a suburban Colorado town. Soon after, Finney Shaw, played by Mason Thames, is kidnapped by a serial killer and trapped in a soundproof basement. He finds a disconnected phone and discovers the ability to transmit the voices of the killer's previous victims who tried to help him escape. Meanwhile, his sister finds she has recurring visions that may help her find her brother. So it sounds a bit sort of child kidnap, freaky horror kind of thing, but with a little sprinkling of Frequency or something like that. Do you remember Frequency?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I love that film.
Dennis Quaid, wasn't it?
Yeah. And the TV
Series
series
wasn't
was
too
really
bad
good as
either,
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They cancelled it, bastard, but it worked right. And it's directed by Scott Derrickson, who was directing Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness for Marvel, but left due to creative differences and then
Good
went
man.
on to this.
I like him already.
So if he's going to do something like that, it's got to be good. And also, just proving how time has gone on, the kidnapper guy, who is known as the Grabber, could have thought more of that, is played by Ethan Hawke. So we're actually in a time of life now where Ethan Hawke can be an old pedo child catcher.
Well, hold on. But that actually gives me a lot of hope because Ethan Hawke, he's really picky with his roles now.
Yeah, I saw him being interviewed a couple of weeks back, and he did say that we don't, I think it was, I don't know, it was.
I saw him on the One show a few weeks back.
That might have been the same one, but it was saying we don't see a lot of you now. And it's like, well, I don't need to work basically, so I pick what I want to do, and if the script takes my fancy, then I'll take it. If not, if I don't think it's going to be interesting, then
it's also got.
I mean, that hasn't helped him out with some of the films that he's done that have been complete parts of shite.
Yeah,
but
that's
I admire that.
They look good on paper, but they may not translate very well. But
it's also got Jeremy Davies and James Ranson in it as well, who've been in all sorts over the years. Jeremy Davies, you'll recognise from like Solaris, Dogville, Helter Skelter, and a film called Spanking the Monkey, which I haven't seen.
Right.
Ranson was in The Wire and Generation Kill and a few things like that. But so these aren't throwaway people. These are established. It's not one of these horrors that's just been churned out on a Happy Meal drive-through. It's not. That's the. It's not one of these
drive-through.
Yeah, it's not one of these drive-through horror that's just being churned out one a month by some of these film companies that we see, where occasionally you get a really good one. This sounds interesting, and I hope leads to more, maybe even a bit of a sort of Butterfly Effect vibe from it. I'm getting, that kind of thing. But the trailer is out there, and it's The Black Phone, which arrives when I find
2022. Doesn't matter when. Well, doesn't matter when. 2022.
Well, February the 4th it says 2022, but I think that's UK, but America get it a bit later, which is happening a lot lately, and that's a shame.
Cool.
Okay, moving on. So I need to speak about this because we watched the trailer a few weeks ago.
I'm just not going to get to speak.
I didn't think you had anything.
You don't.
I said
count.
I
he
had
had
one
film. He's got TV shows.
I thought I talked about your film.
Yeah, but he's got TV shows as well.
We're doing TV shows and films.
Well, all right. I looked at you.
You're the host, man. You should know this shit.
Yeah,
I thought he was just jacking it for himself.
I was mouthing at you and saying, "Do you have anything else?" And you said, "No."
I thought you meant, did I have anything else about that Nick Cage?
Oh no,
film?
okay, no, sweet. Okay, so
he wouldn't come unprepared with just one thing to talk about.
Yeah, who would do that
on New Year's Eve?
It's not like we've been busy with Christmas and everything. All right, Damien.
No, I don't want to talk now.
Okay, fine. So moving on. So go on.
No.
Oh, don't make me beg. Come on. You got
no, because it's going to be
a handful. It's a handful of listeners waiting.
Okay, bit of an anticlimax to be
Oh,
fair.
shit, don't worry.
But it's just Afterlife is next on my list. I'm not doing this in
Oh
any
no,
particular
sweet.
order.
Yeah, January.
Yeah, it comes out in January.
Season 3. You're on
Season
that.
3, final season, which is a good thing because
The dog doesn't die.
was there ever any risk of the dog dying?
Yeah. If you've been on Twitter, everyone's been saying, "Look, how are you going to make this worse? Is the dog going to die?" And
Why would they want to make it worse?
because he's been going through a load of shit.
Yeah, but
So it's like, is there going to be something else now that affects him?
well, I guess that would be a way to prolong the more
But Ricky
seasons.
Gervais has come out and said, "No, the dog's
No.
fine."
He wouldn't do that. He's a full-on
Dog
dog
lover.
mentalist.
Yeah, but he's also sort of would say it and then do it in the first episode.
That's true. Yeah, maybe. But anyway,
It's not Sean Bean,
it's-
the dog,
Is it what?
die in the first episode.
Oh, it's not. It doesn't matter what I thought you said. It's really not important. No.
Move on.
Flicking the bean. But I don't know why I thought you said that, and I'm probably going to leave that in.
You're going to edit that out.
I don't think I will.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to bother editing any of this. To be honest.
Just cut it down the middle.
It's
Then.
New Year's Eve. It's what
Yeah,
happens. It's crazy.
Cut it down the middle and just go straight into the week after podcast. No intro or anything.
Yeah.
Just
Just put a load of nonsense out and see what happens.
and then start
Bit of
the
BAFTA.
next one with like white noise.
And then we woke up.
Anyway,
And there's a monkey.
season 3, Afterlife.
Yeah.
Final season. I was late to the party when with this because I didn't watch it until my COVID-induced coma.
But not the New
back in
Year's
the
Eve
summer.
party.
Not this party. I wasn't late to.
I was the same. I was late.
Actually, I was late because you were sat here waiting for me to turn up.
I started watching it when season 2 came around.
I watched it in the summer.
And that was only because I think I just got to that point where Ricky Gervais was everywhere. Derek was out. I didn't really like.
Yeah, I think we said this before.
I didn't really watch Derek.
I
I
like
didn't.
Derek.
I
thought
don't
Derek
like
was good.
Derek, only because it's just
It's a bit too close to the.
yeah. There's something about it.
You
that I
don't know whether
like.
it's taking the. And it's
Yeah.
not. And
You know it's not.
Everything
Exactly,
he
'cause
says,
everything is from the
but
heart, and-
I watch it and I don't.
That's
Yeah.
what I like about it, because Derek's all without meaning to sound on PC. Derek's like the only normal one in it.
Yeah,
you know,
I
like,
know,
that's what makes
yeah.
it. It's
But I think for me, with Ricky Gervais, it's more. I like him when he's being interviewed.
Yeah.
And he's doing his own thing. I'm not a fan of his stand-up.
Yeah.
I just like him.
Some
I like-
some of his interviews are really
Yeah,
interesting
exactly.
when he's talking about religion and all this kind
Yeah,
of
there's
stuff.
there's a load of stuff on TikTok with him sat down, chatting to the likes of the famous atheist. I can't remember his name now.
Yeah.
Richard Dawkins.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And where Richard Dawkins is like a militant atheist, Ricky Gervais is like, well, if you don't want to believe it, don't believe it. He's obviously atheist himself, but
Yeah.
he's not a militant atheist. He's just, well, if they want to believe it,
What's wrong?
what's it fucking good to you?
And
Yeah,
Richard
how
Dawkins-
is it killing you? You know,
And Richard Dawkins married to one of the old Doctor Who companions now.
I've no idea. I can't stand the bloke because I mean I'm
I
not.
don't like
I
him
don't
either.
believe in God either, but I don't see the need to shout everyone else's opinions down.
It's like that's what you've got religion for.
Yeah, it's the whole point. It's faith based. So
why,
you have,
why
know.
bother being an atheist if you're going to have a go at religion?
yeah,
Just leave them alone.
exactly. It's
I
not
know,
doing you any harm, is it?
He was married to Layla Ward, who was a Doctor Who companion, but they'd gone to the Tinternet. They split up a few years ago.
Oh, that's a shame.
Thanks,
I hope
Gabriel.
she stung him for every penny he got. Anyway, yeah, I think in all of that conversation, I've said all I was going to say about Afterlife.
Yeah, I mean, they're great in lots of different ways. I mean, the worst thing about it for those who haven't managed to get round to watching Afterlife, who I'm surprised because it's probably one of the most streamed.
Actually,
watched-
sorry. So the only thing I was going to say, the reason I never watched it
Derek?
from the start,
Oh,
or
Afterlife.
even when season 2 was in full flow, was because everyone was talking about it,
Yeah,
and that kind of put me off. It's just, and I've always been like that with anything.
yeah, yes.
Anyone makes, it starts if it becomes like you must watch this. You fucking tell me what I got to watch, so I don't watch it.
Yeah,
But,
but
I don't like
it's
MCU,
just.
I don't know.
You mustn't watch Hawkeye.
But I love it because it's so understated. It's just really clever storytelling that sucks you in quite quickly.
Yeah, it's not like most sitcoms that are out there now, which is all about the conceit of getting to a certain point or whatever. This is just
But he's managed to do it
An
about
old
such a
school
dark
comedy.
subject in such a relevant modern way with some really dark themes.
yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean, giving the guy the money for the overdose. I mean,
But we talked about this in the past. What
Yeah.
makes a really great sitcom? It's that blend of light and dark.
Yeah.
And yeah, Afterlife does it well. And that's in January, so not long to go. Just maybe a few days now that we're at New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Cool.
When we finally wake up from this party.
Actually, do you just want to take that stripper over that way a bit, Brett?
No, I'm taking her this way at the moment.
Okay, so moving on. So over to my side of the table. So need to talk about it. We watched the trailer a few weeks ago. I am looking forward to this. Morbius.
Yes, I am too.
So Jared Leto, Michael Keaton, who's pretty much in every TV show and film next year.
He's getting quite established in the MCU now, isn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah, absolutely. It's Michael Keaton revival, as we were saying, a bit like John Travolta, but hoping that he's going to stay the
But
right shade of
he
cool.
made better choices
Yeah, stay the right shade of cool.
and stayed away from L. Ron Hubbard.
And so yeah, really looking forward to this. The trailer looks phenomenal. I don't need to say anything more about it.
Yeah, it's on my list to watch.
Damien, I think even Damien saw.
Yeah, you
something.
like the trailer before you start going
Did
on
I?
that.
Morbius.
It's the one where it's like it's Marvelly, but he's a vampire.
Looks
Well,
like a
he's not
I
a
don't think
vampire.
I ever said I like the trailer.
Oh, I think
You went.
did.
That looks cool because it was 2 weeks in a row. We all thumbs up
Yeah.
everything.
Are we sure? I'm going to go back and check this.
You probably cut it out.
Yeah, he probably did, didn't he?
Dumped
That
back
was probably
over
one of the
it. No,
podcasts I
it shouldn't.
listened to. Yeah.
So is this the one where he kind of disappears for a bit? He's ill. Is he ill?
Yeah, and he does the experiment because he's not a vampire because he gets bit by all the bats.
He
whatever
tries
it
to
is.
cure
Yeah.
himself.
So it's a bit like an origin story.
Yes, and
Okay.
you love an origin story.
I do like an orange. An orange? I'm not. I'm partial
It's
to an
Christmas
orange. to be
time.
fair.
Everyone likes
Yeah.
oranges.
Are you a Tory?
That's not orange.
Oh, it was, and a bin bag.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
I was going to say some names then, but
No,
it might
no
be
names.
libelous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're on the fringe now.
Yeah. There might be a vague recollection of saying it could be interesting, but I'm not convinced. I'll have to go back and.
It's because you're hazy on New Year's Eve at the party.
This is
You
it.
can't
I've
remember.
had 3 Stellas, man.
Well, the
I
fact
agree.
that it's starring Jared Leto, who looks like he is actually a vampire.
They use no makeup.
How young he looks.
See, I think I saw the trailer for this when we first started doing the podcast.
No,
way back
It was
when.
only
No.
about 2 or 3 episodes ago.
We were here.
No. I know we did it then, but I'm
No, they
pretty
released
certain.
an image. They did release an image,
Did they?
but the first trailer was only
We saw the first
recently.
trailer.
Yeah.
No, I know okay, I know the. But I'm
Okay.
I'm pretty certain I was back in the office when it was in the house, up in the what is now Chloe's bedroom, and seeing a trailer for this nonsense. Just saying, I think it's been delayed, but it's irrelevant
No,
whether it's any good or not.
you liked it. Go back and listen.
What
Go on,
episode
Just
number?
go and watch it again. It's been the last 2 or 3.
34.
Okay.
Well, I remembered.
Probably, I think it was
You just made
33,
that up,
actually.
didn't you? To make it sound like yeah.
Okay, so move on. Go on, Summers.
Okay, my next choice is a film, and I'm picking this because I think it's going to be the first box office bomb of 2022. But we need to watch it for that reason.
Okay.
Is that okay? So it's kind of like it's almost a don't watch it, but do watch it because it's going to be bad. Am I
I'm
allowed to do
intrigued.
that, or is that cruel?
No, that's fine.
It's called Moonfall.
Yes, this was on my list as a worthy mention, but for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, definitely. And it just let me read you. Can I read you the spiel?
Yeah. And
And
I think we watched a trailer for this a few weeks ago as well. But yeah, give the spiel.
Oh, I didn't remember it. No, I forgot it. If I did, see, that was how good it was. A mysterious force knocks the moon from its orbit around Earth, space 1999, and sends it hurtling on a collision course with life as we know it, with mere weeks before impact and the world on the brink of annihilation. NASA even executive and former astronaut Joe Fowler, played by Halle Berry,
Yeah.
is convinced that she has the key to saving us all, but only one astronaut from her past, Brian Harper, played by the actually awesome Patrick Wilson, and conspiracy theorist Casey Houseman, played by John Bradley, believe her. these unlikely heroes will mount an impossible last-ditch attempt mission into space, leaving behind everyone they love. I remember the trailer now. I need to find out that our moon is not what we think it is. Moonfall, coming this February.
Yeah.
Donald Sutherland's in it too.
Really?
Yeah.
And Charlie Plummer and Michael Pena and someone called Maxim Roy.
See, I have no recollection of the trailer.
But it just sounds like it could be good. But I think that this could be our first like box office bomb of 2022.
It's like we had Armageddon, okay, and that was like,
and Deep Impact,
and that was late 90s. We need to do a big action thing now. What can be bigger than like a meteor coming? Moon. The moon's bigger than a meteor, isn't it? So let's try and come up with a big action.
But it just sounds like Space 1999 because the moon blows out and goes out of Earth's orbit, and
Yeah.
the only difference there is they're on the moon and they're stuck because it's gone
It's
somewhere
a
else.
moon base, yeah.
I mean, I think you're right. I think this is going to be a flop, and it's a shame because I like Michael Pena and Patrick Wilson. Well, I don't dislike Halle Berry.
I was
as
going to
well,
say, there's nothing wrong with Halle Berry either, to be fair.
but it's just, it's, if this was the 50s, it would be a great sci-fi film, and there were some great sci-fi films
Well, it was a
from the
great
50s.
sci-fi television series as well.
Yeah, but I mean, there were some great sci-fi films at the time where the moon was out of orbit and all this kind of stuff that were really impactful. No pun intended. But I remember watching the trailers to this and just not being enthused, and just thinking, God, if I'm not excited about the trailer, and that's supposed to bring out all the best bits, then this is going to be a flop.
It just sounds like something that used to be on Movies for Men.
Movies for
or
men.
it's on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah,
at
on the
midnight,
Sci-Fi Channel. Yeah,
at midnight or on a Sunday afternoon.
you're right. This feels like the cheap remake of something else, and it's absolutely not. But yeah, I think you're right. This may be one of the biggest flops, and no doubt it had quite a big budget.
Well, I imagine
maybe
Miss
it'll
Berry's
surprise us all.
not cheap these days. But yeah, it could do. But I don't think it's going to. But that's coming up in February.
Oh, was it February?
That's what I'm only going what it says on here.
Sweet, I go for my birthday.
Date subject to change.
Joke.
Because
Yeah.
obviously, we might have a lockdown.
COVID willing.
But there's no lockdown tonight on New Year's Eve. Wah, 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 wah.
Oh no, Boris might have stopped it by then.
Yeah, if you're listening to this now, please don't phone the police on us. Who's next, Paul?
Damien.
Am I? Oh, okay. Cool.
You're the host, so we didn't know.
Yeah.
We wait for you.
You're
Well,
in control.
well, to be fair, Brett, I didn't know whether you finished or not.
Nor do I. I never know.
Exactly right. Let's move on. Damien.
Especially on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
Damien, shut up, Brett. There you go.
Ooh.
I'm the host.
Oh,
Stop talking.
Someone's had a
Oh.
beer.
Right.
so you
Damien.
just gone 10 o'clock and
No,
he's kicking
you
off.
asked me to be the host.
Hey, Beavis, you having a
I
beer?
just cut him out. Cut him out of the
Some
edit.
guy
Just
gave it
get
to
rid
me.
of him. Damien, over to you.
Okay. So, despite my... every time he comes to me, my bloody laptop turns off. Despite my
That's what she said.
disdain for the two prequels we've already talked about, I'm going to talk about The Witcher Blood Origin.
Really?
Ooh.
That surprises me.
I'm not entirely sure that I am looking forward to this or not, because I've only seen the first 3 or 4 episodes of the current season of The Witcher, so season 2, and I'm not really feeling it just yet.
No, I'm not feeling love.
It might be because it's Christmas and lots of stuff going on. I mean, I did watch the synopsis of season 1 to try and, re-engage my brain, because it's been about a year, 18 months since the last season. That didn't work at all, because it was a shit synopsis and was pretty much just a trailer to watch The Witcher, which was no good. But
I've
anyway,
heard there were lots of people gushing after the first episode, though. It was like, he's back, yeah.
really?
Well,
So-
I didn't mind it, but I know what you mean. I wasn't
I
blown
don't know,
away,
it
but
was
I
just a
enjoyed
little
it.
bit flat, or it's just something about it. But then again, it's got to build again. 'cause
It wasn't great.
It went to a crescendo, and
It was like an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, I don't
Beauty
disagree
and
with
the
that.
Beast.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, definitely. When I was watching it with Sarah, I said hang on, is he going to have a talking candlestick and
Yeah.
a teacup that sings or some shit like
well,
that?
I was actually singing. We are guests.
What-
We
what-
are guests.
What
I-
what were we
no
saying
idea, I
about
haven't seen-
Buffy? I'm just going back to my American cousin. What's Buffy Summers done to you, Mr. Hawkins?
Anyway, so The Witcher Blood Origin is set in a world 1,200 years before the current world that we're seeing on TV at the moment. And it's going to tell the story lost to time, the creation of the first prototype Witcher. In this 6-part live-action prequel, it will follow the events that led to the pivotal conjunction of spheres, when the worlds of monsters, men, and elves merge to become one. Ooh, I hear
That does
you
actually
whispering.
sound better than the current series.
It does,
series
yeah,
of
this is
Witcher.
why, because I
Who's in it?
generally
Who's in
I
it?
don't write that shit down, and I can't be doing with listing out names, and because what happens is you get a list of names and it tells you what they've been in, and you end up with like an A4 page full of nonsense of so and so who was also in this, that, and the other. I don't care.
It's quite nice being here.
Anyway, so yeah, I don't know who's in it. It could be
Michelle Yeoh's in it. She's
yeah,
pretty
Michelle
cool.
Yeoh. That's exactly what I was about to say. It could be her, him, that person.
Is it her?
It's her. Good.
Yeah.
And
I'm pleased about that.
and Jacob Collins Levy
Okay,
Great one.
appears to be one of the bigger names. as well.
there we go. But yeah, anyway, you're right, Paul. It does sound
It sounds better than the current
the current
storyline.
exactly.
There's origins.
I love a good origins. Origin. I can't say it. now.
Origins. It's Christmas.
What is in that?
Oranges.
It's just gin, isn't it? But it stops me speaking.
Yeah.
Is it orange gin?
No, it
I
isn't.
do. I've got some orange gin behind the bar if you want it.
Yay! Okay.
Probably got every flavour of gin going. To be fair.
Have
The
you got
night
any,
is young, Damien.
have you got any wolves gin?
Are we going to do the countdown?
I've got ages yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
We haven't got the buffet out yet.
Oh, it's been a few hours. You don't want to touch those prawn sandwiches now. Okay. That you done?
Yeah. Unless anyone wants to speak more about The Witcher Blood Origin.
No.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm going to do a quick mention of a film that I am looking forward to.
Did you just do films?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but it's going to be a really quick mention.
Uh-oh.
Well, no, because it's a storyline that everyone knows. But I'm really looking forward to it, and I wanted to give it a worthy mention. And this is Cyrano with,
Isn't that a ham?
Is that Roxanne?
Cyrano de Bergerac.
Oh, how many times has that been done?
Yeah, but again, this
Steve
is,
Martin.
Steve Martin had a big nose.
Yeah, what's the other guy? Gerard Depardieu, he did one.
Yeah, but this is with Peter Dinklage. And we watched the trailer a few weeks ago, and it looks really good.
I suppose his nose would be in a pretty perfect position.
Well, only for sniffing. I mean,
Well, no,
I
I
think
mean-
they covered that in Game of Thrones.
yeah, it's not really a perfect position, actually, David, for a lot of situations.
I don't know.
But I saw the trailer to this, and I just thought, we're going to talk about some really big blockbuster films and everything like that. But if I'm talking about the films that I'd actually probably watch and go out of my way to watch, then I like Peter Dinklage, and he's
Sorry, I thought you were going to bounce into I like big butts and I cannot lie.
no, but he's just a really great actor when he's in a role that he really does well. And I think this is going to be a bloody brilliant film. I think this is going to be, again, when we're speaking about the Nick
So
Cage
is
film.
it, so all joking apart, so is this the genuine, is this a Roxanne style
Yeah.
remake?
Oh,
or
no,
is
no,
it
no.
a Cyrano de
It was
Bergerac?
remade classically, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
from
So
memory.
that-
I saw a
It's
picture
Cyrano
of
de
him.
Bergerac, not
I saw a
Roxanne.
picture of him sort of all Romeo
Yeah,
and
he
Juliet. up.
doesn't
Okay.
he doesn't play like a fireman or
Yeah.
anything like that. No,
Saves.
this is back in the day, yeah.
Okay, fair dues.
So and again, Peter Dinklage is one of those actors that manages to pick, the soft emotional side, but also got the comic side. He's got the angry side. I was going to say he's angry,
So he's an actor. though.
Space Pants.
but he's lucky in the roles that he's had and choosing the roles that he's had that still give him this like broad appeal and that broad dynamic as well. Even nowadays, I'm just not obsessed, but I do like him a lot. I'm going to
Okay.
move swiftly on because I only wanted to give that a quick mention because I appreciate that it's not really cult, but it's one of the ones that I'm looking forward to. So Summers.
Hang on. So this is coming from the man that last week spent a good 25 minutes talking about Last of the Summer Wine. Says,
Well, I just assumed.
well, I'm just going to mention this because it's not really cult.
Yeah, but I just assumed.
And Last of the Summer Wine is.
But I assumed you'd edit all of that out.
No.
So I assumed.
To be fair, I didn't go for
myself.
I did take out. It's not a full 25 minutes anymore, but
New Year's Eve.
But that's why that was just a quick mention of Serrano. So Brett, moving on swiftly, if Damien hasn't cut us both out by now, and just replaced us with like some white noise.
It's coming next year. I'm a little bit worried about it, but I will be watching it, and I'm excited. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series. Will they ruin everything they've already established, or will they
Yes.
just retell it in a new way? Will it be praised? Will it be slated? Will Twitter melt down? The force is strong when we find out.
okay. So one question from the uninitiated, who's not bothered to read any of the nonsense about this:
Yes.
is this after all of the what are now the first 3 films?
Yes.
And in between,
It's basically, from
Populous
you're gonna, I'm guessing there's gonna be like, you'll see like baby Luke maybe, and he might grow up.
yeah. That's what
and
I'm saying. It's not before he gets to Phantom Menace. It's after that stuff. I can't remember the name of the other 2 films now.
Return of the
Clone Wars.
Jedi.
And not Clone Wars. What is it? No. Phantom
Revenge,
Menace.
Revenge of the Sith, he means.
That's the last of the original 3.
Yeah.
Not the original.
Yeah,
3.
it's between New Hope and
Yeah, so that's where it is.
yeah.
Did it have to go dark then?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was.
Yeah, it's
the
Revenge of the
lights
Sith
of
to
my
New
eyes.
Hope. So you're going to see, hopefully you'll see all the Darth Maul stuff that they already did in the animated series, and they don't ruin any of that, especially their final battle. Hayden Christensen is apparently in it somewhere, either as himself or as Darth Vader. That again will be interesting, because
So won't it have to be as Darth Vader?
and that's about them. You may have little flashbacks of
Yeah.
like when they're training or whatever, and Hayden Christensen's 20 years
Well,
old.
they've got
on the
pad
film.
out series. Let's
Yeah.
face it.
But no, I think it's only about 6 parts. I don't think they're doing.
Yeah, but compared to like a film.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause it's likely to be about 50 minutes or so per episode, I imagine.
True.
but it's got potential. But again, the worry is they've laid out everything that happens to Obi-Wan already in Rebels and Clone Wars and everything like that. So, they're taking a risk if they deviate, because there'll be
Exactly.
there
I
will
guess
be
it
a
doesn't matter if
meltdown.
they've laid it out because you haven't seen it, have you?
Well, you
Well,
you have.
Wait,
I
well,
haven't seen
hold
Clone
on.
Wars, I don't
No, but
know.
no, but this
Oh.
is a good point though, because a lot of people wouldn't have seen a lot of the other stuff in the Star Wars universe that's available. A lot of people just watch the films,
Yeah, agreed.
and
So there's a chance to do
Yeah,
it
that's kind of
in
what
a
I
bit
meant.
more of a mature way. And stuff.
because there are a lot of the really great animated series that delve into a lot of the history and stuff like that. But again, I'm be honest with you, I don't watch all of them. So I think it's got a point, but you're right. It's crossing a line. So does it carry on doing stuff that everyone's who's really a fan knows about, because they want to put their own little twist on it?
Yeah.
And if they deviate from that, are they just going to get slaughtered?
Because Disney already took all the criticism, because once they took it over, they binned off all the books and said, like, nothing is canon anymore apart from the original films.
Yeah, even the
that are
last
out
3
there.
films
Yeah, even the.
might be gone.
Oh, no, they're
What
there.
last 3 films?
He's
The
about-
last 3
he's
Star
about the
Wars
latest
films.
trilogy. No, they'll still be there. But
No,
like,
this is the new talk
crap
now.
anyway,
They're
so-
going to create another trilogy as if they hadn't happened.
oh, we'll see.
Completely bin them off.
Maybe they'll do a Days of Future Past.
Even
I don't
that
think
annoys
they'll-
me.
I don't think they'll.
And
bin
to be
them
fair,
off.
I don't care. But that would be annoying even for someone like me. So what you're saying is you've got all the way up to the original 6, should we say, and then what came out 5 years ago? They're saying they're
Start again.
not they don't happen.
Yeah,
'cause
so
no one-
basically,
no one got the ending they wanted.
so basically, Luke gets out the shower.
A force shower. But yeah, so there's that one. There's also Keeping it Star Wars.
Oh, I should have taken this opportunity to go for a whiz, shouldn't I?
There's
Yeah, I was thinking the same
there's the
thing.
Andor TV series as well, which follows Cassian Andor, who was the dude in Rogue One, who was like the agent
Oh, I thought that was a planet.
with the moustache. He was with her at the end when it.
Is that not a
all
planet?
went down.
Endor.
Endor. He's
That's what you said, wasn't
Andor,
it?
with an
Andor.
A. Cassian Andor, which so basically it's a prequel to Rogue
That's just far
One.
too confusing. They shouldn't have done that.
But what's cool about it is he's basically
He's just ploughing on. He's ignoring me.
yeah,
Yeah, he is,
totally.
yeah.
But no, I'll explain it then. You'll see why.
Okay.
He's the but it's following him in the rebellion. But have you seen Rogue One? Did you?
Is that the first one that came back?
Yeah, with
Yeah,
the girl
hated
and
every
like
minute of it.
they all died at
Just
the
a
end.
rehash of New Hope.
No. The one Rogue One's the one where they
Where
her dad
gets
built the
plans,
Death Star and she's got the
plans
plans.
for the Death Star.
They're the ones that get the plans out. And
Oh,
send
what, the
them-
ones that send it to Leia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
That's
Oh, no,
a
that
good
one's
one.
good. It's basically the prequel to that. But Cassian Andor is played by Diego Luna, isn't it?
I think
Can't remember
so.
that. Yeah, and but basically he's like a Rebel Alliance dude, like we see in the film. But he's also doing all the like proper nasty Rebel Alliance shit that you don't see in the Star Wars films. Like he meets our friend from Era 404. What's his name? The robot cop.
Daniel Mace.
Yeah, Danny Mays in it as like a spy, and then he has to kill him.
I'm
because
actually quite impressed that for the first time we've talked about Era 404,
We
we've
got the
actually
name right.
got it right.
Yeah, I was thinking, but yeah, but like Danny Mason, like, here's the information that, and then he sees the troops go, and he has to just kill him because he'll tell him who he is, and so it's almost like the dirty underside of the Rebel Alliance. You know, like the people that do like the wet works, the dirty work. He's a bit like that. So hopefully,
Okay, so
they'll
based
keep
on that
going.
conversation, I'm going to ask a question. I watched, I went to the cinema to see whatever the reboot was. What was that?
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
Oh yeah.
And was thoroughly pissed off with the whole situation and stopped. That's where I stopped. That's why I don't like Star Wars anymore, is because it just pissed me off. It's a rehash of everything we've seen before, annoyed me.
So you watched the prequels?
No, because that pissed me off so much, I haven't seen any Star Wars film since.
No, but you haven't watched the prequels because that was before. The ones with Ewan McGregor in.
Like Phantom Menace and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, I've seen those.
Oh wow! And you managed to carry on watching. I was just impressed with you. That's
yeah,
all.
but they annoyed me, but for
Yeah,
different
this is
reasons.
Rogue One. Go and watch Rogue One. It's really good.
Rogue One's a lot better.
And the ending of Rogue One is the start of A New Hope as well. So it kind of
Seriously, Rogue.
No, I get the premise because it's where the plans and all that. I know what it is because I'm not stupid.
no, but it is actually it's actually a genuinely put together really good film.
Okay.
I mean, in a lot of ways, forget Star Wars. Just as a film, if that was it, it'd be really good.
Okay.
It's a lot better than the last three.
Oh, okay.
And Han Solo.
Solo was a good film.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
It just wasn't
No,
how everyone
you're wrong.
wanted.
No.
Oh, I don't know what to do yet. Ooh, I'm
Watch
scared
Rogue
now.
One.
For people at home, you obviously can't see. They're both staring at me. One's going, "It was really good." The other one's going, "No, it wasn't."
And
no, it wasn't.
the other, I mean, there's a Rangers of the New Republic show as well, which is set within the Mandalorian. But the other Star Wars show is the Ahsoka one, which is in pre-production at the moment and out late next year, apparently, or this year as we hit to 2022. Which
Not long to go now.
Rosario
About it.
Dawson as Ahsoka Tano, the Jedi, or not Jedi, depending on what you believe, or Grey Jedi, even though there are no
Is he
such
still
things as
talking?
Grey
Because
Jedi.
I kind of zoned out then.
So there are 3 Star Wars shows coming up, as well as Rangers of the New Republic, which will probably still be good, but I'm more worried about the others. So yeah, big year for Star Wars TV spin-offs.
Actually, it really is, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a few.
I
I
mean-
think there's a few little cartoons chucked in that as well.
I mean, Disney are trying to milk that Star Wars cow.
But you've still got there's the Lando show that's
Yeah.
been announced as well,
Yeah.
which I would like it to be Billy D. Williams just going around space pimping, but I don't think it's going to be.
It's almost like they spent a lot of money to buy rights, and so now they're just trying to, like, kind of cash
Squeeze
in as much as they
every
can.
last cent out of that cash cow.
The content wars have begun. I
But
told you.
hopefully there will be one of those shows that will actually be worth it.
I think they're all going to be because
I don't know. I think it's
you
gonna
know
be kinda hit
I'm
and miss
confident
for
on
some
these because the people that got involved and the fact that they're just so desperate not to make one more mistake that could burn the whole Star Wars universe to the ground.
Okay.
All right, who's next?
Actually, let's stop it right there because it is New Year's Eve, so we are going to back on cue. We haven't killed him yet, and we haven't destroyed his phone. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to do some shots to celebrate New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
We're going to come back with a second break of this episode. He's there with his bloody sound effect machine. Are you gonna do the horn? No,
I was waiting for it, but I was confused.
step away from the phone.
I wasn't sure what a second break was.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I was going to see if I could let that one start.
we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna do some shots. We're gonna celebrate New Year's Eve. Then we're gonna come back for a second episode
Next week.
which will be released next week. Where
So
we're gonna talk
it'll be a
about.
quick break for us, but for you got to wait another week for this episode, the second episode of this nonsense.
Unless they're listening to it back to back.
Oh yeah, good point. I
They
do that
could
sometimes.
be, yeah.
Yeah. I do that on a Kryptonaut podcast.
Can you imagine listening to us like the day after a hangover?
Oh,
Can you imagine that?
that's pain.
I'm going to kill him. I am. Okay.
Sneezy!
So we
Party hardy, Marty.
so this has been. My phone is locked.
The Cult Faction podcast, episode 41.
It has been that. Well done, Damien. And the title was this has been the Cult Faction podcast, episode 41, the New Year's Day after tomorrow. We are on every streaming service, every podcast service that's reputable,
Yeah.
that you need to
the
be
relevant
listening to.
ones.
Yeah, all the info is at cultfaction.com. You can find us on there, and whatever podcast app you want to
And
download
be
us
sure-
on, do it.
Be sure to review us. Be sure to do that. We respect you, and there's a lot of love from Cult Faction for you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
Just for part 2, where we're even more wasted.
See you
Because
on
it
the
will
other
still
side.
be New Year for us. But you know.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Have a good one.
Superman.
Thank Damien.
I don't have a gun.
Everywhere I go.
Alright, I am ready. That guy.
You want to hear the voice? I'll give you the voice.
Yeah, but when I get excited, I get louder.
Stop taking the fucking piss, alright?
Like Christmas. Everywhere we go.
That bit wasn't recorded, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Shit. And it's Boris Johnson is a sausage roll. A sausage roll.